Guys, Dollar Tree reported this morning, and we're going to go over that. We're going to go over a nice post I saw on Threads. Instagram does a great job of getting me to click on Threads sometimes. So yes, I actually was on there. But I saw a great post. That's a great learning lesson. I don't know if it was clickbait, but whatever. And by the way, Bitcoin is now up to $73,000 per coin. So it is back, baby. It is up 20% from its low from the last year or two. So Dollar Tree, keep in mind, they've beaten estimates only 11 out of 17 times. In the last 17 quarters, only 11 times. The reason that matters is great companies can still have ups and downs. Look at this. Oh, wow. Look at the 5-year numbers on Dollar Tree. It's only up 4.9% in the last 5 years. That's incredible. Who would have thought that? So what does that tell me? It doesn't tell me much besides maybe take a look. Has it been losing people's attention lately? I actually want to pull up Dollar Tree earnings release because I want to see how their same store sales are. But they missed on revenue. They reported $5.45 billion versus an estimate of $5.47, but they beat on profit $2.56 per share versus $2.53 estimated. Now, they're up a lot after hours. Let's go see why. Comparable, this is what I want to look at, guys. Oh, this is January 31st. I don't want January. Oh, because you're ending January 31st. Yes, thank you. A lot of times retail stores will end at the January to allow for the holiday season to be finished out. 5% growth in same-store sales. That's a lot. Probably driven up by inflation and maybe a weaker consumer trying to save some money. They go into Dollar Tree, save a few bucks. Same-store sales are a very important metric on retail locations. Stores that have been around for a year or longer, whatever their metric is, how are their sales doing? Because anybody can make more revenue by just opening more and more stores. But if you have declining store sales and you're making up for that by opening, let's say, for example, same store sales are declining 2% a year. If you open 3% more stores, you're probably going to have revenue growth. But you want to see that the foundational business is good. That's right there. So I'm glad to see that. Now, the stock was up 6.5% today, 6.45%. But the question is it a value? Well, let's go take a look real quick at earning. Oh, did they sell something off a few years ago? They probably did. What did they sell off? Something. And they've been losing money for a few years now. Huh. That's interesting. Was it one-time write-offs? Let's see. So let's go. Whenever I see big drops like that, I want to look if there's like a one-time charge. In 2024 and 25, they lost $1 billion and $3 billion. That's interesting. They're buying back shares. So theoretically, that means that they think it's undervalued. Let's go to analyst estimates here. Wow, look at this growth. Doubling their profit in the next 5 years, according to analysts. 584 to 1190. And revenue growth of 4 to 6% a year. Did you find anything, Tim?
They sold off the Family Dollar chain.
They sold off the Family Dollar chain. So that cut their revenues a lot. And that's probably why the stock is down so much. Yeah, because this stock, okay, that makes more sense. You have less company, but the stock is even. Our community members have this as a sell right now with intrinsic value of $72. I cannot wait to tell you guys this story from Threads because I'm partly embarrassed that I even look at Threads, but it is what it is. So, guys, this is where we put the numbers and the story together. We sit here and we have to understand how do we put these things to look at the future. Remember, every investment is the present value of all the cash it'll receive. That's what this is basically doing without looking at the balance sheet. What's it going to grow in revenue? What's that profit going to be? What is the company going to be worth in terms of multiple of that profit down the road, and then discount it back to today with your desired annual return? So let's take a look at this. Pretty decent returns on capital. Not the best for the last 10 years, but it's better this year. Revenue growth, 3%, 5%, and 7%. All right, you get 3 or 4% from inflation, a couple of other percentage points from gross store growth. Not bad. Profit margin and free cash flow. Now, I went lower here. Even though free cash flow is up there, I went lower. And look at this. This is where I'm confused here. The profit margin was negative and the free cash flow is up. So it tells me this was some sort of write-off of some sort. Now, this might be low. Let's go redo this. And you might be like, well, Paul, why are you changing profit margin? Well, I prefer it when free cash flow is higher. I usually focus on the free cash flow number, whether it's higher or lower. And I'm glad to see it's higher here. So I would have guessed the exact opposite because I would have thought, oh, they're opening new stores, they have to spend a lot of money, etc. So I'm going to go with 4, 5, and 6%. That could be low, guys, because look, the last 5 years have done 5.84, last year 6.4, so they could get higher than that. Now, what PE do I apply to this business? Well, the ROIC is nothing to write home about. Historical average is 9 to 10%. So I'm going to start at 15 to 16 historical average and basically go there. I did 13 on the low side, 19 on the high side, 16 in the middle, right there at the historical average. Finally, desired return, 9%. No margin of safety, just what is this company worth? Remember, I don't believe in buying something for 9% return, but you could be different. I hit the analyze button. The stock's currently at 114. I don't disagree with our users. I have 53 on the low side, 134 on the high side, 86 in the middle. So for me, I'm just like, I don't want a 5% return. Could it be a little bit better? Sure. But the bottom line is, I don't think I'm buying it anytime soon, because even at 86, if it's worth 86, what price do I need to buy it at for it to be worth it for me? 70? So I'm not close to there right now. Okay. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Threads. Let me show you this comment by Ashby Frank. I don't know who this person is. I don't know why it was even my feed, but here it is. I'm a dumb musician. Can someone please explain to me why Tesla's market value is 1.5 trillion with revenue of 94 billion and profit of 3.8 billion, but at the same time, Walmart's market value is much less at 1 trillion, but they have revenue of 713 billion and profit of 29.3 billion. Now, I wrote, you're not a dumb musician. It's pretty smart of you to say this, but this is a very good learning lesson because he's right and he's wrong. He's right to ask this question because these are the questions to ask investors. If I can buy Walmart that generates, $30 billion in profit for $1 trillion, why would I buy Tesla that makes $4 billion a year for 1.5 trillion? Growth. Guys, I will say it in many videos on our main channel in here. If you have two companies, they're exactly the same, but one can grow 20% a year, one can grow 5%. Which one deserves a higher premium? The 20% per year growth company. That's the issue here. What's interesting is Walmart's gross margin is like 25 to 27%, while Tesla's is like 15 to 18%. So even Walmart selling, toys and groceries makes more money per toy and grocery than Tesla makes per car. But guys, this is the big key here. If Tesla, there is a price, there is a growth rate that justifies this for Tesla, 1.5 trillion on 4 billion in revenue, on profit. Remember, when I say I don't think something is worth it, what I mean is I do not think that what they have to do to justify this value is realistic or even very probable. It might not even be possible. That's the issue we have with companies. That's what we're trying to teach on this channel. That valuation is the driver of what we're trying to do. When you're buying a company, you have to decide, what is this company going to make in the future? Now, the future is unknown. And we're humans, we make mistakes. That's why we need that margin of safety. But we have to be asking these questions all the time. Look at me and Amazon. 10, 12 years ago, I was like, this Amazon is way overpriced. But in the day, they went into it because they didn't understand that their CapEx was actually going to work. And I see a lot of CapEx happening right now in AI. Will it work or not? I don't know. This is truly what the essence of investing is, and this is what I love talking about. Of course, I'm a little more blunt than most people, and I'll sit there and say, do I think this is going to work out for Tesla? I do not. And I look at it saying, but if you believe Tesla is more than a car company, I recommend you do two things. I recommend you value the car business and value the software, data, or whatever new word they want to say when all this stuff doesn't work out. Business. That's what you're supposed to do and put them together. But at the end of the day, I've sat there and looked at it and said, okay, if Tesla was 100% software and energy business, can it still justify its current valuation if 100% of its revenue came from the most profitable part of their business? It's hard. It's not insane, but it's very difficult, even today's valuation, unless you compare it to other really expensive companies like NVIDIA. But I think it's a great question that this dumb musician asked because, guys, these are not dumb questions. This is what I want to talk about with investing. It's all about the simple questions. Why would I pay this then? If you look, he's looking at a stock as a piece of a business. And I probably just got, like, he's probably out there right now. Somebody's looking at him going, hey, that guy actually believed that you really were a dumb musician. But he does put over here, like, look at my Spotify, which was a great, I'm gonna promote this here. I hope he sees this and he reaches out to us. But here's a Spotify. But I'm looking at this saying it is a brilliant question to ask. A very brilliant question to ask, because this is the essence of all investing. And this is the thing we're trying to teach on this channel. So guys, before you get excited about Iran war and inflation and blah, 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 just remember, we're here to teach a process of looking at companies, looking at stocks as ownership in a business that you're going to own for a very long time. I personally have not sold many stocks that I've bought in the last 4 or 5 years. Why? Because I don't want to have my emotions take over and have me selling things that I don't. When I think I'm fully wrong, I will sell. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm wrong here. I will sell. But until then, even if my thesis doesn't work out correctly, if my thesis entirely was wrong, that's when I sell. But if I'm like, oh, I was a little off on some numbers, I'm not selling. That's what we're here to teach. That's why Stock Analyzer tool is so useful. It allows low, middle, and high assumptions. But guys, at the end of the day, this is where he would benefit from Stock Analyzer tool. Sitting there going, okay, well, let's say Tesla grows at a much higher rate. So by the way, spoiler alert, Tesla ain't growing. They're growing, but they're not growing that much. Because all of a sudden, everybody thinks that Elon Musk is a psychopath. This is part of investing. Let me ask you a question. Who's the CEO of Walmart? You probably don't know, because he shuts the fuck up and he does his job. That's what I'm trying to get across here. You might sit there and say the Waltons. It's not the Waltons. The Waltons are just the family that own it. That's it. By the way, I like Elon Musk. I think he's a brilliant man. I think he's brilliant, and I think he's right in a lot of politics that people don't want to admit. But at the end of the day, this is the risk from being so far out there in the public eye. If people take a shift on you, it's going to affect your stock price. So guys, this is the Everything Money Plus channel. If you're new to the channel and you like what I have to say, do me a favor, subscribe, and download our principle-driven investing PDF. It's a great 5-tenet explanation on the way in which to think about investing. Click the link below. And if you've been with us for a while, check out our community and software where you can actually get our Stock Analyzer tool. We have a great 7-day trial, but don't join if you've only watched us one time. I only want it for very serious people. The software isn't for everyone. It's for the right one. Thank you for your time.